I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social Security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's Ken Reed, it's TV Guidance Counselor, and I am here to give you another great episode of the show that's been going since February 14th, 2014, where we take an old issue of TV Guide magazine from my personal collection, use it as the inspiration for a conversation with an interesting person, and this week is no exception. My guest this week is the fantastic performer phenomenon Siri Dahl. She's an adult performer, probably most notably, but is so much more than that. You can find her stuff there if you like, but she also has some safe for work content, has a great podcast called The First Thirst about our pop culture crushes growing up. I love that her non-adult Patreon is called Siri Before Dark. Just super smart, funny, awesome person. And if you like my show, you will like First Thirst, if you have not listened to it yet. So I had a great time talking to her, and you will have a great time hearing me talk to her. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, Siri Dahl.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Live via satellite from sunny Los Angeles, Siri, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm very excited after combing through this issue of TV Guide to talk about this stuff.
This is an interesting one. So one thing I do have to note is normally I scan all these myself. And this one I did get from the internet because this scanning quality, not up to my standard.
Yeah, it's kind of, it kind of is comedic though on some of like the ads, like the way that it's kind of like grainy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a weird posterized low res for some reason.
Yeah.
There's this guy, I think he's from New York. Sometimes I pull these from archive.org, and for some reason all of his TV guides are filthy. There's like fingerprints all over them. There's like stained things. And I'm like, maybe I know it takes me like 3 hours to scan one, but maybe I'll just scan this one also.
Yeah.
This one I did not. But I gave you like 3 or 4 choices in sort of late 90s, early 2000s. And you ended up going with October 21st to the 27th, 2000, which thank you for picking a Halloween adjacent week. Always my favorite.
Hell yeah.
Why this one? What spoke to you about this one?
I was just thinking about the kind of the era that would have been for me, and this would have been a pretty specific time in my life. My family, I was about to start I was in 7th grade, but I turned 12 the summer of 2000 in June. So I was freshly 12 years old in October 2000. And my family also moved from Minnesota to Texas that summer. And because I was in a new place. Yeah, huge. It was a big culture shock. And since I was, in a new state, new school, didn't know anyone, at that point I started watching more TV than I had probably previously in my life on like a regular basis.
I hear that a lot, like oddly. So many people that I know who have gone into the arts in whatever capacity, many of them were military kids, but a lot of them moved around a lot or had like a massive move at like a formative year.
Yes.
And television was consistent. So
yes,
it was
familiar.
It was, Simpsons on Thursday night at 9 or Sunday night at 8, like no matter where you are, it's still on at that time. So it's like a weird, comforting thing.
Absolutely.
So you are not alone in that. And also like, those of us that grew up pre-millennium, and this is obviously right on the cusp, like moving to a new place, you had this cultural capital to speak to people about, at least, where now everyone, God knows what subreddits every kid is on probably. If you go on a thing like here, you can be like, everybody watched The Simpsons last night, right?
Yeah. There's not really much, we don't really have a cultural, like monolithic cultural moments in the ways that we did when I was growing up.
Which is good and bad, I think,
Yeah.
but also like
Yeah.
there was a common ground, even if it was just the Brady Bunch, but
Yeah.
now it's like disasters. But
exactly. Yeah.
it was, like, and there were things that there were shows I never saw, but I could tell you everyone that was on it. But now there's people like, oh, this sitcom's been on CBS for 9 years. I'm like, I've never heard of that show.
This happens to me all the time.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know who that
I don't
actor
know.
is.
Uh-huh.
They've been in 10 of the top 10 movies the last 10 years. I've never heard of that person.
Yeah. Never heard of them. I didn't even know that they were alive.
Nope. I could just be old, but I'm going to blame it on the new millennium. So this issue, this is when TV Guide started doing. Did you guys get a TV Guide when you were growing up?
I'm not sure that we did at my house. I know I'm familiar with it because, I mean, it was ubiquitous,
Yeah.
even if my parents didn't subscribe to it, like my friends' parents did. I'd see it at their houses. It was always in the doctor's office or the dentist's waiting room kind of thing. So very familiar with it. Yeah.
It was the largest print run magazine in the world for decades, which is nuts. But
That is wild.
this is when they started trying to appeal to like collectors because like culturally, like TV Guide's still published. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
There's no need to have it now. But that was sort of starting in the early 2000s. So this issue, they did 24 different collectors covers, each with a different Simpsons character. And that's ridiculous. Like, like I'm
actually crazy.
old school like comic book collector in the 90s was pretty ridiculous. But 24 different covers that's a little much.
It's a lot.
It's a
It's a
little
lot.
much.
I kind of was shocked by that when I saw it. I was like, you couldn't have just... I mean, you didn't have to do all 24. You could have just done like 5. But
I wonder if there's anyone who like collected all 20. Like, I can't even imagine the biggest Simpsons fan in the world doing that.
I am glad that the
24.
scan we have for this issue is Groundskeeper Willie on the cover.
Yeah, I looked at all 24. This is the best cover.
Yeah. I right off the bat here, I do have to admit something that is kind of shameful, which is that I did not grow up watching The Simpsons. I wasn't like, it's not that I wasn't allowed to, but it was like the time slot that it aired in was like usually, even if I had asked to watch it, I would have been overridden by either my older sister or like what my parents wanted to watch. And then there was like, I remember, I do have a memory of watching The Simpsons at one point. I was like the only one in the family room, and then my like mom walked in and like was like, what the heck is this? Like super judgmental.
Right.
And I was like, fine, I'll change it. Like, and to this day, really, I've seen maybe a handful of Simpsons episodes. I'm very uneducated on The Simpsons, but I understand a good amount just because it's, everywhere in culture.
Yeah, you
It's like-
osmosis absorb like some
Yeah.
stuff, but at the same time, like it's been on for like almost
Ever.
40 years.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, oh, I watched a ton of The Simpsons, but in reality, I've probably watched maybe 15% of it, which is like 5 years or something. So it's hard to even know. I was on a plane and I caught an episode of The Simpsons, and I had not watched a new episode of The Simpsons in, I don't know, decades.
Mm-hmm.
And it freaked me out because they had cell phones and like,
That's
we're
so weird.
doing normal 21st century stuff, but it seemed so wrong.
I feel like if, unless you're aging the characters, like unless Bart Simpson is now like 43,
Right.
it doesn't really make sense that they would have cell phones.
I mean, I guess it's supposed to be contemporary, but it felt to me like the Lucas going back and CGing stuff from an
Yeah.
old movie. I'm like, why they put cell phones and stuff from the 90s? Like,
Yeah,
but
don't
I'm like,
modernize
it's
my
weird.
Simpsons.
What the hell? We didn't have to deal with this on the Flintstones. But yeah, it's such a weird cultural phenomenon. And so 2000, it was kind of, I think the Simpsons movie had just come out. It was in its like second lull, and then it had a little
Yeah.
bit of a golden age again. And then everyone was like, "This is the worst of the Simpsons ever." So they're really pushing it. And then also the inside cover ad is for one of the most disgusting food products I've seen in a long time. It's
Especially
real
with the
gross.
scanned image, and it's Yeah, like
chunky
rasterized or something. Like
Yeah.
it's so chunky looking and dry.
Oven Sensations, which sounds like it's being sarcastic, which is not a good sign for a product you eat.
It does. Yankee pot roast by Stouffer's. Beef included.
That's the funniest badge. Like, I just want to print a ton of those as stickers and put them on random products in a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Beef included. New.
Beef included.
It's new beef.
I'm gonna start putting that on my in my Pornhub video.
Yes,
upload
beef
titles.
included.
Beef included.
2 servings.
2 servings.
It's new. That's a good way to distinguish certain things. It's a real good seal of approval there. Yeah, Oven Sensations, beef included. Awful. I would not purchase this product anyway, but that ad makes me, like, if I saw it in an aisle, I would not go down that aisle.
Yeah.
I would just be like,
I would make this from scratch. I love a pot roast.
it's
I
not
love
hard to
stew.
make.
Exactly. Yeah. I very much without seeing this shitty quality scan photo of it, I still question the quality. I wouldn't want to eat this.
Like, the whole point of a pot roast is, like, you just put it in a pan, in a thing, and you forget about it all day, right?
Yeah. It's a slow cooker meal. Or a very slow oven meal, yeah.
People that are like, I need pot roast now. Like, this is a pot roast emergency. I don't have time. We need it stat. Nothing else will do. Where are you in your life?
What a desperate position to be in.
Yeah, if that's where you are. Then we get an ad for VHS tapes. And these two films could not be any more different.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're advertising them together. It's Three Kings and Green Mile.
I don't know anything about Three Kings. I mean, Green Miles is, like, in my, like, top 20 favorite movies. Love that. But I never have seen or heard Three Kings. Like, I didn't even know that movie exists, which is kind of wild because it's starring George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, and Ice Cube.
Yeah, I think the only time that's happened. It's a comedy. I think it's David O. Russell, I think.
Okay.
And it's like it's a comedy set in the early 90s Iraq War.
Oh, wow.
And Spike Jonze is in it as an actor.
Okay.
He's like the fourth lead. It's like okay-ish, but very weird to be like, well, obviously, if you're gonna buy 2 movies this October at Halloween time, you want the Green Mile and Three Kings. Definitely. I'm like, okay.
Get ready to be spooked.
It's like they picked him out of a hat there. So then we get into, I realized that 2000, we're just getting the reality TV that is still haunting us to this day. And I had a little bit of shock being like, oh, Survivor, Big Brother.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the tone of how they discuss Big Brother and stuff is very, very interesting, very quaint almost compared to what we have now.
It's funny because the novelty of them, you know, in that sort of monoculture thing, like everyone knew Richard Hatch, he won Survivor. Everyone knew who was on the first season of Big Brother. And then they did like 15 seasons in a year. And I'm like, it was like American Idol. I don't know who won that after the first one. And they've had like 27 of them. And I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of, it's diminishing returns here, guys.
Yeah, seriously. I didn't know that Big Brother had been around that long. I've never watched it. I totally do get down with some reality TV, but not that one.
It's so boring. So it weirdly, so it was a ripoff of The Real World in Europe and was a huge hit over there. So then we remade it here and it bombed. And then it kept doing well in Europe. So then they tried it again later here and it started doing well. I lived in England in 2001, 2002, and it was huge. And I remember I had a friend who was an intern, and her job, this sounds like the worst job on earth. She had to sit in a trailer and watch the feed 24 hours a day and log stuff that might be interesting. Like, that's like a punishment.
That sounds awful.
That's like a punishment.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Are you a big horror fan?
I am. It's funny because this actually, I had like a little like realization of my own while reading through the programming in this issue, because I have thought of myself for a while now as a real latecomer to horror as a genre, because it was in terms of like movies that I like and my taste in that, I didn't really think of myself as someone who's like specifically into that genre until like Midsommar came out.
Okay. So the folk horror stuff.
Yes. But historically, I've always enjoyed like some horror movies, but I've just never been like a buff. I've never really chased it down. But reading through the programming for this, it's like a lot of the things on my list are adjacent to that. And partly that's because this is an October issue, so there's a lot of spooky programming happening. And then that kind of made me recollect that, like, as a kid, like, growing up, like, it was definitely a like, pet interest of mine. I think a lot of the horror movies that were out around that time and that were, like, new things coming out when I was growing up, my parents were, in fact, very strict about movie and TV ratings. So I was not allowed to see anything rated R. They got like more relaxed. By the time I could like drive and go do stuff on my own,
it's hard
they weren't going to stop me from doing it. But it was strict. And even I think I was allowed to see some PG-13 movies before I was 13. But like my parents would like do research before.
Right. It had to be a movie they'd want to watch as well. So was it was it the sex, the violence? Was it both? Was it just like, that's too much for your age?
I would say their concern definitely was more so sex.
Okay.
Portrayals of sex.
Well, they are American.
Yeah, exactly. My parents are also, they're like waspy, kind of, sort of prude. But not like ultra religious. It wasn't really coming from that kind of place. It was more just like probably their discomfort with me being exposed to certain things, which is hilarious because of the job that I now do.
Yes. I don't ever be like, if you'd let me watch 2 more R-rated movies.
I know, right? It's like maybe I would have ended up choosing a completely different career path than an adult film performer had my parents just let me watch.
Basic
Eyes
Instinct
Wide
was
Shut.
On. Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut. I only had to watch it once. I didn't need to go to the theater. You could have fast-forwarded parts, and we could have avoided it.
I will say, though, while that was kind of the house rule, there was one hilarious example of my mom totally failing to hold to her own standard. The summer of 2000, as I previously mentioned, I turned 12 that summer in June, and I had a big sleepover slumber party, birthday party with like 6 girls that were friends of mine. And before the party that night, my mom took me to the rental store to rent a movie, and I was intent that I wanted it to be a scary movie. And my mom was like, "How about The Shining?"
Oh, dear God.
My mom had definitely seen it like multiple times, and my mom loves like Stanley Kubrick, and she loves mystery horror like novels and stuff. So she was just like, "Oh, you'll love this. It's super scary." She did not remember at all like the bathroom scene with the rotting lady. Like there was a lot that she did not recall.
Naked lady paintings in his room.
She didn't remember any of that, and she also didn't we watched the movie like in the living room, and my parents were like, in a different part of the house. So, and as soon as those scenes came up, I was like, "Oh my God, my mom totally would not have rented this if she had remembered this stuff was in here." And it also scarred several of my friends for life.
Oh, I bet. Like my parents didn't really care about what I rented, and there was a lot of kids who were no longer allowed over my house after a while. Because they were like, "I don't want you to watch those movies." I remember I rented Clockwork Orange, speaking of Kubrick, because I was a big like punk rock fan. I was probably 10 or 11, and I'm like, "Yeah, that book is so..." And then like 2 minutes in, I'm like, "Oh, I think this probably isn't appropriate for me."
Yep. I saw that one when I was like 14, maybe at a friend's house.
Yeah, that one's a lot. That one I feel like is more impactful than The Shining.
Well, yes, yeah. Reasons. I'm honestly glad that I was 14 when I saw it and not 12. Like if I had seen if I'd rented Clockwork Orange for my 12-year-old birthday party.
Yeah, it's a sleepover.
I think my parents would have gotten some angry phone calls.
Get the popcorn, everybody.
Yeah.
Man. And I mentioned it because there was it was a made-for-TV British movie that it was actually done by Charlie Booker, who did Black Mirror later. Mm-hmm. And the premise of it is called Dead Set, and the premise of it is, what if the zombie apocalypse happened and nobody in the Big Brother house knew about it?
Oh my gosh.
And it's great, and it's scary, and like really great satire, and it came out around like 2004, but I cannot think of Big Brother without thinking of it now, and it's so good, and I don't know why more people like it. It's streaming everywhere, but I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. That sounds great.
It's really good, and it's such a cool idea. Like they're like sequestered in this stupid reality show, and like the world's falling apart around them. They have no idea. Then we have a weird thing about like vampire movies and stuff in here. I don't know why they're focusing on vampires. Maybe 2000 big vampire year.
Yeah.
But what a weird collection of movies. They're like the ones you expect. But then they have Jonathan Lipnicki and the Little Vampire. Which I'm like, okay. And one of the best, worst movies ever, Wes Craven Presents Dracula 2000, is so bad.
I've never seen it.
So bad. It's got like it's like Skinamax version of Bram Stoker's Dracula without any sex in it.
What? So Skinamax, like bad acting.
Like bad acting. It
like
has
just
that
like low budget bad.
Low budget. It has that like it feels sleazy, but not like it's like empty calories. It's just like
no.
You're like, whoa, who is this for? And it's rated PG-13, but you just feel gross. Like you're like, I feel like I saw something I'm not supposed to see, but this is terrible. Awful movie, and it had a sequel, which is even more shocking to me.
Oh God, it's like what a different world we live in now. These studios had too much money to spend on projects in the year 2000.
Oh yeah, like that would be now. They just shelve it. Like it felt like one of those shows in like the Xena Jack of all trades Hercules universe. Mm-hmm. That vibe to it, but was a theatrical movie for some reason. So then we have a cool article where it's like kind of a showcase of all 24 of the Simpsons characters that are on the different covers, which is kind of just like a cool little like book in of itself that's pretty well written and like well researched. This is like pre-Wikipedia. If I wanted to look up everything about Barney Gumble, here it is. Like it's all in the pocket size. I can have it.
I appreciated this actually because it's all of the like side like ensemble characters that I don't really know anything about, having not been a Simpsons watcher for my whole life. So I read this whole thing, every character profile, and I feel like I'm a Simpsons expert now.
It's Cliff Notes. You shortcutted your way to Simpsons fandom. And then comic book store guy, I have to mention, I think everyone I know claimed that their comic book store owner was the guy it was based on.
That's
like,
so funny.
So many people. And I'm like, I assure you it's not, but also it is.
Because it's all the same guy.
Yeah.
Even the comic book store guy in Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The same character.
That's what it was like then. Like I used to have a bit I used to do on stage about how like we hated our interests like in this stuff when I was growing up, and we like suffered for it. And like I wish I didn't like that stuff. And it would always be this guy who was just like hated children. I feel like he hated comic books, but worked there and was mad all the time. And like you just it was it was like like an ogre. You were like, please don't say anything when I buy this.
Oh God.
Different now. And Kang and Kolos, there's some cool stuff in here. I will admit I do watch Ralph Wiggum compilation clips on YouTube because those are always so funny.
That's hilarious.
Just like there's no context needed. Ralph Wiggum always gonna make you laugh. And then before we get to the listings, I like to point out that so previous to this, TV Guide was filthy with cigarette ads. There was like 50 cigarette ads.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I think in 98 or 99, they passed a law that you couldn't have those in periodicals anymore. And without missing a beat, they replaced them with prescription drug ads.
One of them is 4 pages long.
Zocor.
4 full pages.
Yeah. And
crazy.
3 of the pages are disclaimers.
Yeah.
It's literally like you pay so I don't know how much this costs, but a full page ad in the largest print run magazine in the world in 2000 is going to be pricey.
Yeah.
You're paying for a full-page ad and then have to pay for 3 more full-page ads of text about your product. And I don't even know what it's for.
I don't either.
It doesn't really say.
Yeah, I recognize the name, but I don't remember, like, Zocor.
It's funny because it's on the page right after the Simpsons alien
it's
Kolos.
a cholesterol drug.
Oh,
to lower
I feel
your
like
cholesterol.
I wonder how many people that killed. That's why it's not on the market anymore.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Oh boy. Then we get the Big Brother article in here, and an exercise product I completely forgot about, the ab slide, which was I don't think that was successful.
That was nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
I remember watching many an ab slide infomercial late night.
Do they have those kind of gadgets anymore, or is like everyone hip to them not working? Oh, really?
No, absolutely. Like an ab wheel. I mean, I don't really know what mechanically made the slide different. I think it was just like, you know, a proprietary design of a very common like fitness item. Now I have an ab wheel in my little garage gym, and they work. They are very good. Like they're great for building core strength. But the idea that in 3 minutes a day of using it, you're going to get ripped is like a total lie.
Target sculpt that area. Yeah, that ain't happening.
It's not going to do shit. You're not going to get sculpted. If you already have a very low body fat percentage, then maybe it'll help you get some visible definition in your abdomen. But
yeah, I go to thrift stores often, and the other day I saw a Thigh Master.
Oh my god,
they don't come up often. And at first I was like, oh wow, a Thigh Master, and then I was like, who wants to buy a Thigh Master at the thrift store?
Yeah.
Like,
just go use the good girl, bad girl machines at the real gym.
Exactly.
That's what I call them, the little like abductor, adductor.
Oh yeah.
Machines.
Also, would have been a great product to slap that with real beef sticker on while I was at the thrift store.
Oh my god, you're right.
Then there's an ad for another drug that's for diabetes called Avendia, but I bring it up because it's like, it says I'm stronger than diabetes, and there's a, obviously bad scan, but it's this like older guy with white hair and a beard, and he's like, it looks like he's trying to eat 2 babies. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my god, he is.
Like, what are they trying to convey here?
Oh no.
Because I'm stronger than diabetes, and then here's a picture of me with 2 infants, and I'm like, it's a weird choice.
Yeah, the photo in this ad looks like something that might get unsurfaced in the Epstein.
Yeah. I feel like I need to redact portions of this ad after seeing it. It's that bad. I'm like, ugh. And you know how much money and time and people went into that ad campaign, and they were like, guys, I think we got it.
Yeah.
The 2 babies.
This grandpa wants to eat his grandbabies.
Yet he can't because they're high in sugar, apparently.
Yeah.
he needs his diabetes medication.
They'll spike his insulin too much.
Yeah, those damn kids. It's because they're twins. If it was just one, he could handle it. Then there's the thing about Eminem in here, and I was never a huge Eminem fan, but there's a piece of art in here where it's him as the devil in his underwear, and I'm like, now he seems cool.
And they like kind of feminized his face more in this illustration.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, in my judgment, especially in his younger years, Eminem always kind of looked a little bit like a masked lesbian.
Yeah.
But this is really driven home in this illustration. And also, by the way, the summer and into the fall of 2000 was probably the peak of my personal Eminem fandom.
You and everyone else. I think that's when 8 Mile came out, right?
Yeah, probably around the time that this issue was published, my mom found, and it was around this time because this was like this album of his coming out was like a big media circus around it, and my mom, who generally like didn't ever police the music that I listened to growing up, like she's very much a like, dress how you want, listen to what you want, express yourself. She got concerned about the media commentary about Eminem, and without even asking me, went into my bedroom to look through my CD collection just because she was like, I wonder if my kids are listening to this. And she did. She found my Eminem albums and opened them up, read the lyrics and the liner notes, and then I got in trouble and she confiscated my Eminem CDs.
It's so weird that you
It's
got
the
in
one and
trouble.
only time my mom has given a shit about anything that I've listened to.
What was the conversation like? How dare you do this? Or was it like, I took your CDs, we're not discussing it?
Yeah, I felt like I was in trouble. I wasn't like punished for it, but I felt like I was in trouble because she was like mad, you know?
Yeah.
But if I recall correctly, it was more like, you know, you really shouldn't be listening to this. This guy is awful. Like it's so violent. Like the stuff that he's talking about, like in these lyrics, is just like I'm really uncomfortable, and I don't want you to listen to this.
Which again, now very quaint.
Yeah,
look at those now.
it is. It is.
And they call him something in this article that I've never heard this term before. I've never heard Eminem referred to this before. A gangsta porno rapper.
Well, this Dr. C. Dolores Tucker
Yes.
calls that, and that whole quote from she's mentioned as the national chair of the National Political Congress of Black Women. So, you know, yeah, that's kind of wild, to gangsta porno rapper. And she's saying it like it's this like established category. So I assume there's plenty of other hip hop artists that this person would also have called gangsta porno rappers. Yeah,
Way to
I'm
make it sound
annoyed.
cooler than it is. Like, if that's a genre, I'm like, my God, yeah, they're not doing any favors. And yeah, I am looking at this drawing of him too, and he's got very manicured eyebrows. That's, I think, what's doing it. It's the eyebrows and the lips.
Yeah.
But then they interview all these people about Eminem, and it is the weirdest group of people.
Camille Paglia, like, what? I opened it to this page and I was like, oh my God. Based. But also, like, I actually really love what she says. I'm like, yeah, she has the take that I would most agree with out of all of these.
I have to give TV Guide credit. Like, they got a cross section of humanity here and all opinions.
Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent. And
I
then
love that.
Right under Ted Nugent is Joe Esterhaus, who wrote Showgirls and Basic Instinct. Like,
That is actually crazy to me too. Also, what he says, I'm like, this man do you need to take like some basic like music history courses, because he calls hip hop the illegitimate offspring of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no, I don't think that's
a very historically inaccurate take.
Yeah.
Like,
even in the year 2000, I think most people would not agree that was a true statement, Joe Esterhaus.
yeah. It's giving like Joe Esterhaus is like, yeah, everyone knows that white people invented rock music, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I look at Joe Esterhaus and I'm
hip-hop is
like,
illegitimate.
Leonard Skinner. That man is human Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
So there's no. But then he has Boy George and Vanilla Ice. That's
The Vanilla
weird
Ice one is hilarious too, because it's like, it's just such a pick me statement.
Yeah.
Why don't you crack on somebody that can say something back, like me, Eminem? Like, he's like, please give me attention, please, Eminem,
It's like,
please
all
give me
right,
attention.
Rob Van Winkle, are you sitting down there in Florida feeling like no one cares about you? This is right before Vanilla Ice put out that new metal Limp Bizkit style album.
No. I was just gonna say, funny, because he looks like he's doing a cosplay of Fred Durst in the little photo. of him
Total
in
Fred
this.
Durst, which is hilarious because the last time any of us really saw him was when he starred in his own film, Cool as Ice, which is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life, not on
boy.
purpose. It's like, oh, and he's all like, yeah, I'm a tough guy. And then Bill Maher, that one bothered me because I'm like, he's the only one of these people that I feel like if they did something similar, they would ask now. And I'm
Yeah,
like, don't
yeah.
ask Bill Maher things. No one wants to care. No one cares what Bill Maher thinks.
I really don't think that anyone does.
No.
I don't. Yeah.
He's never been funny. And I don't say that about stand-ups often because I'm like, cultures change. Stand-up doesn't always hold up. Like just never. And I'm like, why do they hold him up for anything? Like, he's never made a good point. He's not charming. He's just, Bill Maher. Then we get to the listings here. So let's dive in. Saturday, what jumped out at you here?
On Saturday, the two highlights for me, and I'm kind of doing a mix of like things I definitely would have prioritized watching at the time, and then some things that I either wasn't allowed to watch back then,
Right.
or I've since grown to enjoy, that I'm like, yeah, I'd be watching that. But for Saturday, I would pick South Park, The Amanda Show, all that. And I want to say that, like, the year to, like, probably the beginning-ish of 2000 was when I started watching The Real World. I got really into that. So those 4 shows would be my pick.
I feel like Real World 2000, was that New Orleans or was that Vegas? I feel like it was
I
one
feel
of
like it
those.
was New Orleans.
That was the last, to
remember-
me,
yeah.
as a Real World snob. That was the last, like, kind of good Real World before they were just like, get a bunch of hot people, get them drunk, and have them fight and have sex with each other. We don't care about people's lives and a cross-section of humanity. That's all we want. And, like, Vegas was like that, and then they all were kind of like that after that. Hawaii was one that I was like, ugh. But New Orleans was interesting. It was like a real cross-section of people. I was like, this is an interesting group of people.
It ignited in me a lifelong desire to visit New Orleans, which I have now done several times.
Oh, really? How did it hold up to what you thought the Real World New Orleans view of it was?
Yeah, I would say I think I got the first time I went to New Orleans, I had a fantastic time. The second time I went, I definitely got up to more shenanigans than even the people on the Real World New Orleans did.
You out Real Worlded the Real Worlders. Yeah, I think I went there for the first time maybe 3 years ago, and I grew up not far from Salem, Mass. And and I'm like, we spent a ton of time there, and so I just went there, and I'm like, it's like Salem. That smells like vomit.
Oh no! Yeah, yeah,
was kind of-
yeah.
The vibe, and I don't drink, and I'm like,
Warm Salem.
Yeah, it was warm. Although, so when I went, it was in October, and they were having a heat wave, and they had just gotten over a garbage strike, and the streets were clear, and it was super humid, and I was with a friend of mine who lives there, and I was there for work, so I had like a suit on, and she's like, oh, do you want to get some oysters? And I was like, no, that is the absolute last thing I want to have right now on this ridiculously gross day is oysters.
Oh boy, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not ideal.
That was the first place I'd never tried oysters until.
Oh, what did you
times
think?
I
Did you
was
have like raw oysters? Verdict.
And I like them.
Yeah, they're
I like
great.
them a lot. Although I love wood-fired oysters. That's actually my favorite.
Fried oysters are very
more
good.
so than-
Although I mean, most things fried are good.
I feel like I've tried them, but
I like them better
Only
than fried
once.
clams. Yeah, it's New England. Obviously, they make us eat oysters whether we want to or not, and so fried was always my like. These are good. They put them in everything here. The oyster stuffing. It's like, ugh, come on, guys, enough with the oysters. Like, enough
that's so
already.
funny.
I forget about Amanda Bynes, and I still feel bad for her and how she was treated, because she was super cute kid, really funny. Like, the reason she got her own show spinoff from all that was she was like noticeably more talented and
Yes.
like just beyond her years as a performer, and was
Yeah,
really
like,
good.
totally natural, and like with crazy comedic range too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Although there was always just a straight up degree of like, kind of manic energy to all
In
of her
hindsight, yes.
characters. Yeah. But that was kind of the common thread. But my God, my favorite thing that she would do, one of her bits on all that was like when she did Ross Perot.
Yes. Yes.
I'm Ross Perot. Like I was obsessed. Like
Which is not the kind of character you would assume that she would do, like cute 12-year-old girl. And in hindsight, very manic, but really, really funny and good, and not like, especially in 2000, not like kid acty, which was like the worst. It was either like, I talk like a 45-year-old comedy writer, or I'm just like so obnoxious. I have not heard, maybe it's good for her, but I have not seen anything about her in, I feel like, 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, well, there was some of the public
The Dan Schneider
mental
stuff.
crises stuff going on, and I think she's just seems to be living a far more private life now, which
It's probably good.
is for the best.
Yeah, I feel like if we're not hearing anything, that probably means she's doing okay. That's what I'm going to tell myself.
Yeah, I wish only the best for Amanda Bynes.
Yes.
She is an icon and a treasure.
I concur. Because her, Keenan and Kel, they're probably the only currently names people would recognize that came out of all of that, I'm guessing.
I think so. A lot of the other like former child stars that were on the cast of all that have moved on to just have normal ass adult lives.
Yeah, like Danny Tamborelli, who's oddly became a buddy of mine. He was like,
Oh my God,
he's the
stop.
best. Oh yeah, Pete and Pete's my favorite thing ever. Yeah, Danny and Mike.
No, Pete and Pete is like the core of my soul.
Same. That's my
love
soul.
that show. I still want to get a Petunia tattoo someday.
Oh, you got it.
But one of the most like the highlights of my life was, I'm not sure what year it would have been, but it was back when I was, I don't even use Facebook now, but back when I was using it, this was probably in like 2010 or something. I just, out of a desire to be like, wonder what'll happen, I friend requested Danny Tamborelli, and he accepted it. And I was not, this is like me in college, I was not like in the adult industry. Yeah, I was not like a known person. I was just like a random lady. But I used to do like write and record like very like lo-fi music, and I had a whole bunch of songs that were about Pete and Pete.
Oh, this is awesome.
So that was, yeah, it was like a crowning achievement of my life, just to have my friend request accepted by Danny Tamborelli, even though it's not like I ever messaged him or anything.
I'd be happy to introduce you to Danny Tamborelli.
I would literally, I could die happy after that.
I've had him and Mike on the show a couple times, and like it's so weird to me because they're awesome guys. But for me, that show was everything. Like that show felt like my youth, like ideally.
Yes.
And one of the guys who directed it grew up in my hometown, and so like a lot of it felt exactly like where I grew up, and just it was amazing. And I had Will McRobb on the show, who was the co-creator with Chris Viscardi, and Will said my favorite thing about making any art ever, and I feel like I somehow mentioned it in every episode, but he said for everything he does, and this was their sort of motto for Pete and Pete, everything has to be funny, strange, sad, and beautiful. It has to meet all four of those things, and then and I'm like,
yeah,
that's exactly what Pete and Pete is. Like,
that's perfect.
Perfect.
That makes so much sense. Oh my God, I love that show so much.
2000 actually was the year that the Snow Day movie came out.
That was meant to be a Pete and Pete movie.
Supposed to be the Pete and Pete movie. And I saw that. I was in college in 2000, and I didn't have class on Tuesdays, so I'd go to the movies. I'd usually go to the first showing. And that came out during like a school vacation week. So normally I was the only person in the theater. And so for Snow Day, it was me and then this woman with like 7 9-year-olds. So I'm like 20 and look like a creep, and I'm sitting in the back, and there's some funny parts in that movie, and so every time I would laugh, they would all turn around like scared. Like I was like some psycho laughing in the movie. But poor Will, he's like, I knew we were screwed when they took the movie away from them, and they added in all kinds of like the network, the studio added in all kinds of like fart noises and stuff.
What?
Yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff when Wayne, like anytime that kid falls over, there's like fart noises in the movie, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He was so mad, and then they got back the
oh my God, I haven't watched it in a while. I gotta rewatch it.
There's some great stuff in it, but oh God, he's like, we got back the comment cards, and like a bunch of them said like the funniest part was when the fat kid farted, and I was like, we're totally fucked. Like this is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Don't, please don't.
Often think of, in terms of like live action productions, I often think of that movie as like the last good thing that Nickelodeon did in my mind.
Yeah, no,
I mean, then there were still like animated shows that were great after that, obviously, but like in terms of the live action productions, it's like, that was right after that was kind of when they went. Yeah, after that, all their live action shows were just basically trying to copy the worst of the Disney Channel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like Disney Light and the Dan Schneider verse. Yeah, the sort of kids versus adults,
Dan Schneider
like
barf verse.
Kids' point of view piece of it was completely eradicated.
Yeah.
And the network didn't really like Pete and Pete that much. It was like it's just like a very weird.
Which is insane.
Completely
the fact
crazy.
that they only ever released, I remember when I was in college still, probably 2007 or 8, when they released the first 2 seasons on DVD, I went I couldn't even buy them online. They were sold at like Best Buy, and I had to drive around for like hours one afternoon, going to multiple Best Buy locations
Worth
to
it.
find the set of each season separately.
And then season 3, they pressed and had to scrap them all.
Yeah.
But on YouTube right now, I'll send you the link after this. Someone's uploaded high res season 3 in its entirety, and it's awesome.
I will be watching that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I am probably on the spectrum, I make a lot of lists of things. And one of them is like the shows that I've had the most people on this show of that I've like been on. And Bones, for some weird reason, is number 1 by like a long shot, not even on purpose.
Bones.
Bones had like 25 people. But Pete and Pete's got a ton as well. And so I always forget like Juliana Hatfield was on that show, and like Janine Garofalo is on that show. Like
Michael
Marshall
Stipe.
Crenshaw, Michael Stipe.
Iggy Pop.
yes.
Like, what the fuck?
Yes.
It's so crazy.
Danny's stories about Iggy Pop are amazing. Iggy Pop taught him how to play guitar, which is amazing. So like Iggy Pop was supposed to do like a cameo, like just one shot joke. And so Iggy Pop's manager called Chris and Will the next day, and they were like, Jim had a really good time and he wants to know what time he should come back tomorrow. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, well, he thought his character should do more, so he wants to. And they're like, okay, so they wrote him like way more stuff than they kept writing him.
I love that.
So he just like hang around. And he taught Danny how to play Stooges songs in his trailer, which is pretty awesome. Damn good night of TV. Sunday, what are you doing?
Sunday, I'm gonna be watching Jackass.
It's really funny.
And that's the only show that I'd watch that night. A lot of the other stuff, the programming was very much too adult for my taste at 12.
Right.
And a lot of it also was even stuff that I would not have an interest in watching today. But 2 movies that ran that night that I would 100% have had interest in were Mulan and Night at the Roxbury. Because in terms of, I think Night at the Roxbury might have been an R-rated movie, but for some reason, some of the SNL universe movies escaped the containment of me not being allowed to watch them. So like that one is fine.
It's based on TV. It's got to be fine.
Yeah. And I put Stigmata down because I've never seen it. And like, I remember when I was 12, my best friend in 6th grade was like obsessed with the movie Stigmata.
It's the most 2000 movie.
And I wanted to watch it so bad, and I still to this day have not seen it. So I'd probably give that one a shot too.
The best thing about Stigmata, the movie, not the thing. I don't know anything good about actual Stigmata.
The last time I got a Stigmata, the best
It wasn't
part
that
was
great. I got to stay home. Is the soundtrack? They like Natalie Imbruglia hadn't done anything since Torn, and so she does I think 2 songs on the soundtrack that I think Billy Corgan wrote, and it's like goth industrial Natalie Imbruglia, and it's awesome. It's worth it for that. The rest of the movie, it's like just the most early 2000s. I have a theory that the late 90s, early 2000s is maybe the single ugliest time for graphic design and visuals. Like that Monster Energy drink, new metal, WWE kind of, and it's that. Like that's what that movie.
Oh my god! Yeah.
It's just,
Some of the fonts from that era are like, hey.
Yeah. What were you thinking with this font? It looks cheap and ugly. Like, it looks like I would have rather you hand drew this.
Yeah.
It's like really bad. It's so much like people make fun of Comic Sans. I'm like, guys, I think we need to look back at the font on every new metal album. I don't know what those fonts are called. But good God, they're bad. Night at the Roxbury is that's definitely not a good movie.
No, it's not. And I did not know that or care when I was a child.
But there's certainly stuff in it that's entertaining. Oh man, I've done shows with Chris Kattan. That guy, he's got some problems.
I don't know anything about him other than his SNL presence from that era. And I was allowed to watch SNL as much as I wanted growing up. I was
so there was no bedtime.
Very into SNL.
You could stay up?
Like, yeah, I mean, on Saturday night, yeah, I was allowed to stay up late enough to finish an episode of SNL.
Oh, nice. Also, I'll always laugh at Richard Grieco, no matter what he's in. Oh man, he's in. There's a director named Dave Dakota who literally directs Lifetime movies and gay porn. That's it.
Oh my god, I love this.
So he's worked in the 80s.
There's a lot of the Venn diagram of Lifetime movies and gay porn is actually mostly circled. So
I bet, because it's like, they're both low budget, and so he'll make like low budget horror movies, and they're not marketed as gay movies. But imagine like a 2000s low budget slasher movie, but like all the male characters are in like tidy whities the whole movie and like that kind of stuff. So he did this movie about it's like a future military school, and Mario Lopez is in it, and Richard Grieco is like the headmaster, and it's one of the gayest movies I've ever seen in my life, but I don't think anyone in the movie knows that.
Yeah.
And Grieco is like,
how would they?
it's something to watch Grieco in that movie, because you're like, he's completely off his rocker in that movie. It's pretty great. So where are we? Monday night.
Whose line is it anyway? Monday night is actually the one that I have the longest list for. Because I was like, oh shit, Monday night was my jam in 2000. I would have watched so much. Like, I've got Whose Line Is It Anyway? Scariest Places on Earth. History's Mysteries. Unsolved Mysteries. Making the Video. Rocket Power. Brady Bunch. Before They Were Stars. And Behind the Music.
That's a good night. That's where you're instituting the VCR that night to get some of those things there. I was a sucker for Behind the Music. I'd watch any Behind the Music. I don't care who it was about. Someone I didn't care anything about was fascinating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was when I think those sorts of reality shows, like the Discovery Channel things, which still pretended to be somewhat educational, but were probably just as sleazy as everything else, like most haunted places.
They were definitely leaning more into like some like pop culture stuff, but I was very much into like all the education channels. I'm still into like my thing now is I watch like YouTube documentaries about like medieval like
diets
life
or something.
And, just anything about like medieval like sociology, anthropology stuff. I watch those, and I watch like physics documentaries. So like that's always been a lifelong thing for me. I'm like, I loved the History Channel growing up, which was of great benefit to me because it was one of the few things that my dad like wanted to watch on TV, so we could always agree on the History Channel. Or as my dad called it, the Hitlery Channel.
Well, yeah, that's A&E
because everything was about World War II.
Always World War II Hitler. It was like, Dad's something about Hitler. Dad'll watch it. This History's Mysteries. I recall watching this episode, and it's U.S. intelligence agencies and their interest in mind control. So it's about MK Ultra, and it's really good because it's like one of the first times I remember seeing that in like a legitimate. Not Unsolved Mysteries kind of way. And it's pretty interesting. I'd be curious to go back and watch this take on it from 2000 to see kind of what the tone of it is.
Oh yeah, definitely. I might try to find it. Like now, I'm really curious.
Yeah, I'm sure it's online. That is a good night. This is like an unusually decent night of television. And that Whose Line Is It Anyways? It's Proops and Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery, like always entertaining. I do want to mention there's a show on Monday night that I bring up because it was such a cultural phenomenon and nobody talks about it now, and it's Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
Huge.
Which I've never seen.
So many people haven't. It was, this particular episode is literally what made Robert Downey Jr. relevant again. This was his big comeback this episode when he joins the cast in the 4th season.
Wow.
He was completely dead to Hollywood because of his substance abuse. He had a bunch of bombs, hadn't worked in a couple of years. Yeah. And so it was like, movie star Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in this TV show. And it's basically why he has a career now.
Wow.
Nobody mentions this show.
It doesn't
come up anymore. But so weird how, something could be so huge and then, I forgot Linda Blair hosted Scariest Places on Earth.
Yeah. I was so into that.
Yeah. That's before we got too much of those ghost hunter shows that got completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's all like bros trying to fight things.
Ghost Adventures. Fucking.
Yeah.
I hate watch that show. That's a hotel show for me.
Oh, there's always a channel that plays that nonstop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why don't hotels have normal cable?
Because I think it's just because they have those deals with like some software company that builds it, and then fucking
Maybe they
it's
buy
just
the TVs
cheaper.
or something. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
every hotel they'll have like 5 sports channels, the golf channel, and then like C-SPAN 4.
Yeah.
Like, who's
Yeah.
watching this?
I get really mad if I'm staying in a hotel and they don't have HGTV.
Yeah. Or Food Network
'Cause-
bothers me if they don't have Food Network.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
what am I supposed to do? Not watch House Hunters?
Yeah.
Come on.
How am I going to fall asleep if Guy's Grocery Games Marathon isn't on? What do you people expect of me? I'm only human. Tuesday, what are you doing?
Tuesday, Home Improvement, classic. Grew up watching that show. Probably seen every episode of it.
Very at the
also-
end of Home Improvement.
As a tween of the millennium, turning 12 in the year 2000, I was very into Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He was one of my first thirsts. I've talked about that on my podcast, First Thirst. I've also got Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I was also very obsessed with. I have 2 black cats now, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch probably arose that.
I thought you were going to say
love
their
for
name.
black cats in me at an
Salem
early
1 and
age.
Salem 2. That's their names. Salem
Actually,
2.
one of my cats is named Georgia Binks after
Okay.
Binks from
Hocus Pocus. Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever been to Salem?
I have not. It's very
You'd
high
enjoy
on my
it.
list of U.S. places I need to visit. Also, because I'm a member of the Satanic Temple.
Oh yeah, you got to go visit the home. You got to go visit the home country. Yeah, so like when I was a teenager, when I was 14, is when they shot Hocus Pocus in Salem. So like we would go and watch them film stuff, which is
cool.
kind of weird. But Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that show holds up. It's funny. It's not dumb like talking down to kids like this shit, right? It's like a genuinely funny show.
It's great.
And the writers were amazing. Like they had really good writers. It was a good show. Home Improvement, I just could never get past Tim Allen, and not having a thing for JTT, really, a lot of the appeal was gone for me. But by this time, they're doing a Halloween episode, and I will watch the Halloween episode of just about anything, and the Home Improvement ones are decent. This is also around the time where that youngest kid, they let him go goth.
Yeah.
Which was so weird.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was great.
Full on, the kid's dressed like Wes Borland or something. Yeah, real scary. And like, especially someone who rarely watched that show, I'd be flipping through channels and I'm like, what the hell has happened on this show? It's been a while, guys. Been a while.
So on Tuesday, I also put the last one I put is The O'Reilly Factor unwillingly because my dad would have watched it and I would have been in the room and like begrudgingly observing my dad watching it.
Is he still an O'Reilly fan?
You know what? I am so happy to report no. My dad
thank
went
God.
through probably in like 99, 2000 is when he started his Fox News phase and he got very like radicalized like for years. He voted for Trump the first time in 2016.
My dad too.
But now my dad is a proud de-radicalized, deprogrammed former conservative.
Nice. Bill O'Reilly started here in Boston in the news, and in college I worked for our local news stations, and everyone hated him because he was such a dickhead.
A dick, yeah.
Such
fuck
a
it.
dick.
We'll do it live.
To everybody. Oh, so they had compilation after compilation of clips of him being an asshole on set that they pulled over like years of him working here that I so wish I still had, because the fuck it, we'll do it live. That was
Someone
like,
put that on YouTube.
if that's a 5 compared to him going up to 10 on some of the stuff I'd seen on these tapes. Like, just the worst.
It's the least surprising information
I'm like-
to hear about him.
To have no self-awareness to know that the tape guys and the crew guys are going to grab that tape of you being a huge prick. Like,
Yeah.
of course
Everyone
they
who works
are.
for you hates you, bud.
That's not what you want, but he doesn't care.
So
Yeah, oh, what a terrible person. Oh, Linda Blair's hosting Scariest all week on Family Channel. They're doing. I guess that makes sense because it's Halloween week.
marathon.
Wednesday, what are you doing?
Wednesday, we're doing Whose Line again? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's on again. Law and Order and ER. Well, I would be watching both of those with my mom. Those were like her shows. And then I might be trying Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
That was a phenomena at the time. Like it was a huge. So there was a writer's strike, I believe. So we got Survivor and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and these game shows started, like Weakest Link and all that stuff. All I remember is Regis Philbin's monochrome tie look. It was like black tie, black shirt, black jacket. Everyone was like, "He's a fashion icon." I was like, "That looks really stupid."
Yeah.
But everybody watched that, which in hindsight seems really ridiculous. Really ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous, but it was inescapable at
Oh,
that
yeah.
time. Like,
You could, and everyone's
Inescapable.
jokes and
in 7th grade, we would do like pop quizzes that were Who Wants to Be a Millionaire themed. Like, that was a thing that teachers were doing to, try to get us to
engage the kids with what they watch. Oh, it was a good decade before I stopped hearing unfunny people be like, "Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You want to phone a friend?"
Oh, God.
And I'm like, "No, don't. Please don't do that. We don't want that." ER is such a good show that I put in the category of fantastic quality television I never want to see again.
Yeah, I don't really have many memories of it. I just
Traumatic.
watched probably most of it with my mom. And,
Very traumatic.
And I don't remember when it started airing, but
1994, and it went to like 2006 or something like that.
okay, yeah. So I definitely don't remember most, because most of it I wouldn't have understood for a lot of the time that I was alive and watching it.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, there's a made-for-TV movie on. They only give it 1 star, which is a real shame. It stars David Hasselhoff and Terry Farrell of Star Trek fame, I believe. And it's called One True Love. A fireman, played by David Hasselhoff, and a dog kennel owner fall for one another following a car accident. Hold on, even though each is engaged to another person.
What? Is this on Lifetime?
No, it's on Fox.
This is crazy.
It sounds
Oh my
so bad.
It sounds really bad, yeah.
I feel like I need to
That's
watch
straight
that.
up like the plot of a Hallmark movie.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And also, Hasselhoff's like 50 at this time. Like, that's not like leading man in a romantic comedy. Yeah, that's going to be bad.
They knew their market, though.
That's
they were
true.
like, all the boomer ladies are going to be watching this.
It's got a half-page ad, and my favorite thing about the ad, oh, no, it was on CBS, not Fox. It says, inspired by actual events. Isn't everything?
We're just really confident that someone at some point in history has been a firefighter who fell in love with a dog kennel owner.
And, like, who is, like, what viewer is that phrase swaying? Like,
Yeah.
that sounds okay, but I don't know how realistic it. Oh, wait, it's okay. I'll watch it if it's inspired by actual events. Which again is true of any piece of fiction.
Yeah.
Like, you could really apply that anywhere.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Oh boy. There's also the Masters of Figure Skating is on that night, which
Oh, yeah.
I only point out because it's sponsored by Pearl Vision. The glasses place. So it's called the Pearl Vision Masters of Figure Skating, which
But of course.
makes it sound like they'd all have glasses on when they're doing it, which they didn't. And I'd be disappointed if I tuned in and didn't see glasses.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be allowed to wear glasses if you're a professional figure skater.
Well, it'd make it a lot more interesting.
Like in competition, Like they make you wear contacts.
You gotta wear contacts. It's not
Your
regulations.
glasses are gonna fog up.
That's true. That's true. But then, hey, adds an element of an X factor in there that they have
yeah.
to overcome. Thursday night, what are you doing?
Gilmore Girls, which I didn't watch. I think I started watching it in later seasons, like probably like honestly during like the last season.
When Rory was a real dick.
Yeah. Well, she was a dick the whole time. It just became more obvious over time.
Yeah.
And I've since like rewatched the whole season beginning to end like 2 times. I love the show for all of its things worth loving and disliking. But I do hate Rory Gilmore. I would also watch Crocodile Hunter, America's Haunted Houses, Cribs, SpongeBob SquarePants, of course. And I had to throw in Hitler's Youth, which was a programmed show on the Hitlery channel, because like I take after my father. Look, anything that's a documentary about World War II stuff, I was very into growing up. I was like, gimme.
That stuff was fascinating. And then they would get kind of where we ended up where we are now is like Discovery Channel, TLC, which people forget was the Learning Channel, History, and a few of those, because they were like all competing for Hitler content.
They were.
They'd start to get more and more salacious. So one would be like the Third Reich's supernatural obsession, and then it would like they just keep getting crazier and crazier till they were all like that, like Hitler's super weapon or like whatever.
Just the race to the bottom.
Yeah, just like completely becoming fiction at that point. The Steven Weber show premiered that night, which I love Steven Weber, former guest of the show. And it first came out as a show called Cursed, and it was him and Chris Elliott, and it's this really weird, dark comedy show that is about a guy who literally is cursed, and they made him change the show by the end of the season, called it the Steven Weber Show, got rid of all that stuff, but the first few episodes are really funny and weird and kind of like Get a Life, and it kind of in hindsight is amazing that he got them on the air like that. But I was shocked. Also, I forget for good reason about the phenomena that was crossing over with John Edwards.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
Huge.
What? I know I watched that. I don't have like a strong enough memory of what
he was. A psychic medium, but he was a scam artist. You know, it was that.
Oh
I think he did hot reading because he had like a whole crew. But it would literally be him and an audience and be like, "Oh, there's someone. Is there a J name?" And someone be like, "Jason? Yes, I'm talking to a Jason."
Oh my God.
And he says he forgives. And it was on like twice a day. People loved it. Everybody knew he was doing arena tours.
Yeah.
And then just gone. Completely gone.
There was a thing like TV in the 90s and early 2000s was what was going on that we were all so obsessed with psychics and like mediums?
Well, yeah, you have the Long Island medium. I think part of it. I mean,
Miss Cleo,
yeah, who was the world's greatest scam artist. I think part of it, like obviously this John Edwards thing is before 9/11, but after 9/11, that blew up again. And I think it was people just like desperate for anything hopeful.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The afterlife, which of course scam artists are going to completely jump on. So Lady Sylvia something, she was always on like Maury Povich. Sylvia Brown, I think her name was. My favorite thing I think it's in Orange County, there was a Toys R Us that they claimed was haunted. And they brought her there.
No.
And she's like, it's a little boy. He's on a bike and he's riding. And I'm like, he's
playing with toys.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Where did she come up with that? She must be psychic. Like, ridiculous.
He's riding a bike that he was purchased for sale.
At this store.
It's like an ad for Toys R Us.
You could own this bike. It's real. He's telling me ghosts think it's cool, is what he's saying. Gilmore Girls I avoided at this time because it seemed like a show I would hate, and I don't think I first saw it till literally like the pandemic, and then loved it.
Yeah.
And it's the guest stars. Yeah, Tracy Lords is on it, Bruce McCullough, like just like crazy. The thing I love about that show is they write funny people who are legitimately funny. And like when they're talking about music and stuff, it's correct. It's not like someone Googled like, what's a cool band? Like, I'm like, oh, this is like an actual person who likes these things.
Yeah.
Good for them. Charmed Halloween episode is on that night, and Charmed is a terrible show that I will watch if it's on and I don't know why.
I've never seen it, and I like always wanted to watch it though. I don't know. I think it was one of those shows that I was like, I don't know if I could if I'm like
Get in trouble.
would, like want me to watch. Like, yeah,
It's
yeah.
real
Chances are they
dumb.
probably wouldn't have told me I can't, but I was just like,
It's interesting to watch because you realize, and people I know who worked on that show and people who were on that show, like, they all hated each other. It's Shannon Doherty,
Yeah.
Alyssa Milano, Rose McGowan. Like, they did not get along. And
Yeah.
what the show started as, and then what the show became when they all became executive producers and clearly had say over what their characters were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Alyssa Milano's character becomes like an advice columnist who has a famous column in their billboards up. And I'm like, this is not about a bunch of witches at this point
that's
anymore.
so funny. Oh my god.
It's ridiculous. Final night of the week, Friday night. What are you doing?
Law and Order SVU again with my mom. The Haunted History of Halloween,
I've seen that special.
which was
it's very
a special
good.
program on History Channel, of course. MTV's Undressed.
Yes.
Which, okay, so on the note of like not being allowed to watch certain things, one of the big changes in my life the year that my family moved to Texas was for the first time I had access to a TV that my parents wouldn't necessarily be monitoring because the house that we bought in Texas was a little bigger than the one I had grown up in, and it had like a game room, quote unquote, that was like upstairs that was like for the kids.
Okay.
And there was a TV in there. So this was the first time that I could pick a TV show and watch it, and not only were my parents nowhere in sight, they wouldn't even be able to hear what I was watching. So I remember like watching, like waiting till Undressed would come on at like, 10 p.m.
It'd be on after
on MTV.
It was before or after Loveline. I forget which one, but there was like an hour block of those two shows that felt kind of forbidden.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was before. I feel like it was before.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I feel like I would have watched Loveline if it had been before Undressed. But I didn't ever watch Loveline really at this time. But yeah, man, I enjoyed that. I was like, and I knew I was like, I'm doing something so bad.
They're gonna find
I
out.
was watching this,
Me in
but
so
I would
much
put it
trouble.
on and turn the volume down to like level 5.
Speak ear to the speaker. That show, one of the leads on that was on Saved by the Bell, the new class, which is my preferred Saved by the Bell, and I know that's not a very popular opinion. And I was like shocked watching her on that show. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I never thought she'd be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I studied that show. I was like, what are people doing?
College will be very interesting. And I think it set an unfair expectation for everyone, frankly, MTV.
I think it did, yeah.
Also, they're doing Monster program that night. American Movie Classics has a whole documentary about Dracula, weirdly hosted by Whoopi Goldberg. She's a big Dracula
not,
fan.
you know?
I wouldn't have guessed it. I'm sure she did a great job, but that seemed very incongruous to me, that Whoopi
Is
Goldberg.
it exclusively because she was in Ghost? Like,
Maybe. Oh, my friend works at Paramount, or worked at Paramount. And so she got us a drive-on pass for the lot. And in the middle of the studio, like in a random room, they have like a bunch of costumes from different movies in cases. And they have Whoopi Goldberg's outfit from Ghost, like the outfit. And
Oh
it's
my
just
God,
in
that's
this
so great.
case in the corner. And I saw it from across the room. I'm like, it's Whoopi Goldberg's outfit from Ghost. Like, immediately knew. It's like,
oh, I love that.
why did I know that? Exactly. Where's
That's
there?
so funny.
Yeah.
I also put, the last thing I put on my list for Friday night is The Haunting. Was still one of my favorite horror movies.
The original or the Catherine Zeta-Jones remake?
Catherine Zeta-Jones remake, and that was the first rated R movie. Is it actually R? It might be PG-13.
I think it's PG-13.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. So never mind what I was about to say. But I saw that one in the theaters with some of my friends.
Which probably felt really adult.
2000. It very much did, and I loved that. It was like probably one of the scariest movies I'd seen at that point, and I still like it a lot.
Lily Taylor's great. It's great to see Lily Taylor in like a mainstream movie. Like, I mean, she's not an underground actress or anything, but like she always plays like a quirky, weird character, and she's playing like a pretty straightforward character in that movie.
Yeah.
And I love the original a lot because I'm a super nerd. So I was like, CG and stuff. But having since gone back and watched it, especially compared to like the other movies that were out like 99, it's definitely significantly better than like Valentine or, some of those stuff there. I do want to point out on that night, the Norm show is on. This was Norm Macdonald's very short-lived sitcom. And it's the people who did Roseanne did it. This is one of the best Halloween episodes ever. It's really, really funny. And it, I didn't live in an apartment growing up, but it has a thing I realized I'd never seen in a Halloween special where it's kids trick-or-treating in an apartment building, which of course that's a thing. Like,
of course.
And I was like, wow, all these kids never see this represented in a TV show. And it's in that one, but it's also very funny and just like well written. It's a great movie. And Heathers is on that night, which I'll watch anytime it's on. Like, I'm gonna watch Heathers.
I still have not seen Heathers.
Which
is insane.
Well, see,
I need to get on it.
I don't know if you'd like it. I'm curious to see what you'd think, because it's like, it's very of its time, which to me is an asset. And so many things have been influenced by it. I wonder if it just won't hit the same way.
I feel like I'd enjoy it. I mean, Winona Ryder's in it.
I mean, Winona Ryder's great in it, yeah. Christian Slater.
I will watch anything she's in.
I love her so much.
And enjoy it.
I was just talking the other day to someone about how they filmed Mermaids near where I was growing up, and so I was like 14, like, oh, I'm going to see Winona Ryder. But Heathers is great. It's so good. And the school from Heathers is in in Venice. So I was like, I got to go get my picture at the high school from Heathers. It's a great thing. Is there anything you watch now or that like you felt you needed to catch up on specifically that you weren't allowed to watch when you were growing up that you just like, I'm binging this?
X-Files.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I literally started watching X-Files like recently.
What do you think of it?
My partner is like a big X-Files fan. And it was one of those things that was like too kind of adult. My parents didn't watch it, so it was just something I really was not exposed to when it was airing. I love it. It's, yeah. I mean, how can you not? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny, and they're both so hot.
Yeah, that's true. That changed a lot of our brain chemistry when we were growing up at the time. So I loved it when it was on. I love the show Fringe, which is one of my favorite shows ever. And after I finished Fringe like 4 times, I was like, let's go back and watch X-Files. So we started watching it, but it's very slow. Like, I had to like readjust my expectations because I realized it's a 35-year-old show. But yeah, and then later seasons, it's clear they have no plan. And that's when I was like, okay, guys, you're making this up as you go along, aren't you? Like, what are you doing?
They just keep renewing us.
Yeah.
Guess we're going to figure it out.
The world didn't end this time. But I do love, if your partner makes you watch Millennium, that is so good. It's sort of a spin-off and ended up being a spin-in. In a weird way.
Okay, yeah.
But it's really good. And it was only 2 seasons, but it's like really dark and also very like comedic and very funny. Do you have like a chill out, put on to go to bed show or anything?
I actually one that's on a lot on this week's schedule. That for like a year and a half of my life was a chill out, go to bed show is The West Wing.
Oh, weird. That was like relaxing, or it was just kind of slow?
It was just like, I would say maybe neither, but I just was like, I want to watch The West Wing. I'm tired of it being referenced and not knowing what's going on. So I started watching it. This was like back in 2021, 2022. It was also like back then my partner had a job where he would like literally live in it, like in Alaska for 4 months out of the year.
He's like in an oil rig.
I mean, almost. It's like a hiking guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah. Similar like risk tolerance required.
Yeah.
Like a lot of bear encounters possible.
Jeez.
But yeah, so it was also partly just because like my normal bedtime routine was kind of upset. So I was like, I guess I'm just gonna watch 2 episodes of The West Wing every night before I go to sleep.
That would lull you.
And even at that, it still took me so long to get through all of it. And I didn't even finish the last season because I was like, this is just falling apart. I can't.
Yeah, it's those shows. It's the weird thing about TV when they do like quality TV where telling a story that you're not allowed to end and still have it be a good story is like the most impossible thing to do. Like, how can you tell someone, like, it's got to be really compelling and you got to have people interested the whole time, but you can't have anything finish. Like,
I know.
What?
It's like,
it's like,
so sad.
When are we going to be done? I don't know. It might be the next episode, but you might have to do 5 more years. Like, okay, because that's going to affect how I write this.
2 of my favorite TV shows are, I think it's probably a part of what makes them my favorites, are that they were both wrapped up in a way that was very satisfying and with a lot of intent, and that's 6 Feet Under and Schitt's Creek.
Yep.
Like, just tied up in such a gorgeous little bow. Like, thank you for this writing quality.
End the show. Like, give them a little bit of a warning so they can give us something. Because you owe it to them and you owe it to us. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so glad that you had time to sit down and do this. And I love the podcast, by the way. It's very adjacent to this show. So I've recommended it to many people. Like, there's if they like this, they'll very much like your show. I'll email Tamborelli right after this. And I'll send you that link to the season 3 of Pete and Pete, because it literally just went up like yesterday.
Please. I'm so excited that I might literally just be. I have to work out after this. I think I'm going to be working out watching season 3 of Pete and Pete.
Maybe that's the secret. That's the new ab roller.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's Siri. How awesome is she? Check out First Thirst. Follow her on social media. She's an awesome follow. Really funny and interesting, as you know, it's obvious. And a huge Pete and Pete fan. She did share one of her songs with me, and it was pretty amazing. But thanks to her again for sitting down and talking to me, taking the time to talk old TV. Thanks to you for listening. If you have other guests you would like me to try to get on the show, you can email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/TV Guidance Counselor. That's before dark and after dark. And you would have got a PDF of this week's edition of TV Guide that I discuss with Siri. Anyway, I hope to see you next week, because I'll be here for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
Pete and Pete is like the core of my soul. I love that show.